What's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Damian Hill. Uh, so it's been a minute since I dropped a video like this. I just wanted to record something and kind of do a update, because if you follow my page, you know I've been on this like journey of self-mastery and basically mastering all these different dynamics of self. And you know, I heard people say things like stop chasing perfection and such and things like that. And it's just really interesting to see that when you get on a path where you want to start digging more into yourself and exploring yourself and mastering like these vices that you may have, or certain demons, or you know, you're just not okay with you're not okay with things no more. You know, it's really interesting to see that people around you start to try to deter you. Why you want to be perfect, or why you want to do this, and really perfection is subjective. You know what I mean? That's only you can answer that question if you didn't arrived at a level of perfection. But it's not about perfection. The whole self-mastery journey is really about healing elements of ourselves in which we don't even know that's there. And I mean, until you start digging in and you start getting a level of awareness about yourself, because you have to really study yourself. Like, you know, I definitely think we spend a lot of time studying the world, studying other people's. The real hard job is sitting down and studying yourself and learning yourself. And it's a lot easier to, what I like to say, look out the window, always looking at other people and looking what they got, looking what they're doing, looking what they're saying. It's a lot harder to dig in ourselves, because there's layers, and there's layers that we haven't even discovered for ourselves. So, and it can be scary to dig into that, especially when you're on a surface level. You carry like some real low vibrating thoughts about yourself, of guilt and shame, and things that make you feel like you're not even worth catering to yourself. You know what I mean? Even looking at yourself. So, you know, and a lot of our world and outer world is a direct reflection of how we feel inside. And through this whole journey, for me, I'll put it this way: one, you know, with me gaining a level of self-awareness for myself, I've definitely become more aware of others around me also. It's like this, like, say for instance, once you quiet your mind, you're able to pay attention to how you feel, because you know, you don't have thoughts flowing through your mind all crazy. And I mean, a lot of people's time is spent just listening to the thoughts in their brain. Hey, do this, listening to the thoughts in their brain. And I noticed once you quiet your brain and quiet your mind, you can control of that. Then you can start to sense your body and sense the way you feel, and there's more. You got more space to pay attention and have an awareness of how you feel. And once you start to notice, like, oh, I feel like this when I'm around these people, I start to feel like this when I'm around these people, I feel like this when I do this, and you have this level of self-awareness with yourself, that level of self-awareness expands. It expands with other people. So now when other people are around you, you can feel the emotions of other people. Then you can feel you can feel like the mentality of other people. You can feel like the stories of other people. It's a really deep level of awareness. And I think you can only reach that level of awareness when you arrive at a total truth with self. And what I mean is, like, once we drop the illusion, I mean, because many of us live with illusions with ourselves that we don't want to give up. We don't want to give up the illusions, because a lie actually is better than the truth. So a lot of people are walking around living a lie just because they don't want to face the truth. And the hard truths about themselves, and the hard truths about their life, they don't want to face those truths. So they would rather walk around with the illusion. And you know, for me, something something really crazy happened too when I started speaking my truth, like last year, to people around me, and I just started giving people a piece of my mind where I was at. I wasn't saying anything about anybody else, but I just started becoming real with myself. I started to notice that would either get inspired or people would get offended, and it was very interesting. I have friends that would get offended and almost feel like intimidated. And I can kind of understand it now. When you start arriving at a level of truth and you start growing, sometimes your growth and your truth can be a reflection of what someone else is not doing. So it can almost be, you become intimidating. You become somebody they don't want around, because now you're living at a level of truth and it's revealing their non-truth, especially if they're participating in an illusion, some level of lie with themselves. So definitely gonna lose a lot of friends when you start self-mastery and going down that road. You're gonna lose friends. You're gonna lose people that you probably were extremely close with, but at the same time, those people could have been your biggest barrier to growth, or just the cycles that you had with those people could be your biggest barrier to growth. So people are going to drop off, and there's different levels. There's even more levels to where when you start growing, you're met with a new competition of people who may be in competition with you, but you're not in competition with them. And it's a very interesting thing, people that you may have looked up to, or admired. These people, once you start arriving, they may start to feel that same level of intimidation or something. It's kind of funny. I had, when I was real down low and I was out there moving around and I was crazy, and everybody's like, man, we don't think you're gonna make it, you are wilding out. I had a lot of people saying, I'm praying for you, Daniel, I'm praying for you. The crazy thing about it, the same people who was praying for you, once you get well, they may be the ones who be your barrier too. So sometimes, and then you start to see everybody has different levels and layers of issues, and they may not wanted you to die, but they want you to do better than them. So it's an interesting thing, and you're gonna deal with probably making your entry into a new facet of life. You're entering into whatever concept of yourself you're trying to move into. You may run into the group of people in which in that concept in which you're moving into. They may even be against you. So you start to see less barriers in yourself for moving forward, and it starts to be more barriers outside of you. But the crazy thing is the barriers outside of you are still a reflection of what's inside of you. So basically, the barriers outside of you are, if they demobilize you or take you off course, or they get you off center from whatever your mission is, they're a sign of there's still work to do, and still work that still room to dig. So it's not that you're causing these people. These people are there, and they're a reflection of more work to be done, because until you get to that level, into where the outside, I'll call it the outside world, you got the inside world. The outside world don't have any prominence over anything that you feel inside, then there's always more work to do. because you know the real masters, they move amongst the world. They move amongst the world. There's always noise. There's always distraction. There's always craziness. There's always barriers. There's always people trying to slow you down. There's always people trying to stop you. But the real, the biggest barrier for any of us is us. So once we get through all these different dynamics of us and match them for ourselves, you start to realize there's no real enemy outside yourself. People are just a reflection of the work you've done. And they're a reflection of the work you may have not done. So it's very interesting. You start to look at life very differently. You start to look at people around you very differently, and the same people that may be trying to be in opposition for you or stop you or slow you down or just hate you or jealous or envious or any of those type of crazy emotions are scared. You start to feel sorry for them. You don't feel like you want to show them. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to you. You don't feel like that. You kind of feel like more compassionate. You feel more empathetic because you knew all these layers of yourself you had to go through, trauma and things you had to heal. So you start to look at everybody else that they may be your op in their eyes, but you feel more compassion for them than anything because you know how difficult it is to overcome a certain mindset and character traits, because it's all learned programming. It's learned programming, and there's a lot of unlearning that has to be done. And that's the biggest thing I feel these days. Just to be real with you, I feel like, man, I be feeling very compassionate for people. Man, I run into people and I see them with their guards up and their hearts closed and I'll be like, I can tell these are loving people underneath, but they got up this huge facade for the world, scared to be vulnerable, scared to let the world know who they really are, we living in a culture where people are. There's a lot of acting going on, and when I say acting or illusion, that's the illusion, like not facing truth. Nope, people scared to get a real them. People scared to show up, say, man, I'm a loving person. Rather they'll like to be a demon, pretend to be a demon or something, And that barrier, imagine living your whole life not expressing the love that you really have in your heart. Because you want to act hardcore, you want to act like you're a demon or you're on demon time. You want to act like you're not affected or can't be hurt, but secretly you hurting inside and you medicating yourself with drugs or alcohol or through sex or something. And imagine this stuff. Imagine going your whole life living this type of lie. And then being heavily judgmental on somebody else when they tell you the truth. Like, oh, well, you super judgmental now, but you got your own demons in the closet. I say the quickest way to know if somebody real, tell them a truth about yourself that could be a little outrageous and see how they respond. If they respond and they share something else with you, they ready to be, that they haven't shared with somebody, they ready to come real. If they respond and they judgmental, that person got a big barrier to freedom. So they got to put on a facade like they don't got no dirt on them, like they all good. But it's deep, man. And I wish I shoot a whole doggone series or write a book. I'm actually writing a book. But man, it's been a hell of a journey over the last 7 months or 8 months for me, because this is when a heavy work, probably 8-9 months, heavy work at digging really started. I mean, don't think at all it just started there. I mean, it started a long time ago, but you know, this is kind of like one of the final laps, and I'm gonna say final, one of our final internal laps, the most important lap. And even now, we're moving on to another phase where we're gonna be transmuting the sexual energy, desire, into creative art. And you know, the most powerful creative energy in the world is sex, sexual energy. And most of us exhausted because we don't know what to do with it. We exhausted through sex and sexualizing women or men and having sex all day, but secretly in our hearts we have a desire to create something big, something little, but we have a desire to create something, but we don't know what to do with that energy. So we'll smoke, we'll do whatever to, like, you know, make the energy dissipate. But it always comes back, especially, you know, as a human, you're gonna receive energy off people. I mean, you're gonna have people take your energy, you know, but so that's a big barrier too. The people exhausting themselves sexually instead of, you know, turning into some type of creative energy that could put a stamp in the world, you know. But I'm not gonna go too much into that. I just wanted to make a quick video. I'm gonna holler at y'all and let's keep it going. All right, holler.